You were looking at the cover of this week's Time magazine. The issue takes a look at the roots of rioting in Baltimore. The cover image was taken by a 26-year-old amateur photographer named Devin Allen. Allen, a Baltimore native, posted his photos of the protests on social media where they took off. The photograph on the front shows a man running and police chasing behind him. And joining us now is Josh Sanburn. He is a journalist and writer with Time. He did some reporting on the cover story this week. Josh, welcome.
Thank you.
One of David Vondrelli's lines in the article this week is, "For 9 uncomfortable months, we've wrestled in new ways with our centuries-old conversation about race." Tell me what you saw and heard there over the past 3 or 4 days.
Yeah, I think one thing that was clear to me being there, and it is sort of, we allude to it on the cover, is that 1968 was really present in people's minds there. Riots in 1968 after the Martin Luther King assassination really changed the way the city looked after that, and there are still stretches of Baltimore that haven't recovered from 68, and that was really, for the people who were there and still live in Baltimore, that's really sort of top of mind.
Some things have changed, some things have not, and we talk about this every time I visit Baltimore. It is one of the starkest separations of any city I've ever been in the world. You're driving at one moment and you're in what can be a rough neighborhood, and a block later it seems like you're at the Four Seasons.
Absolutely. It's a tale of two cities. It's two Baltimores. There is the Inner Harbor downtown area where it's affluent. It's predominantly white. That is where people are coming to shop, to live. But then there's another Baltimore, the Baltimore where the Freddie Gray incident happened, where there are storefronts that have closed down, where there are boarded up apartments. And, you know, there are no economic opportunities for a lot of people in those neighborhoods.
You talk about, in the article, or Time does at least, these other police brutality settlements that have taken place in the years from 2011 to 2014 that are now getting more attention in the wake of what happened. 100 victims of police brutality settled for over $6 million.
Right.
People didn't necessarily hear about those as much until what happened with Freddie Gray.
It's been a pattern of police incidents, especially against people of color in Baltimore. Yes, those incidents really didn't make national news until the Freddie Gray incident, and the Baltimore Sun has done some amazing reporting about all the settlements that the police department has had to pay out over the last few years.
But let's be fair, though. Baltimore is different than Ferguson. 48% of the Baltimore police force is black.
Yeah, that's right, and it has a black police commissioner. You know, one interesting thing that came out of this was this is sort of the first major city in this new wave of police use of force and police accountability that has a black mayor and a black police commissioner. But the thing is, I don't think that really made it any easier for these city officials to deal with what happened.
There's talk also in the article about school reform and sort of the endless list of school reforms that have taken place, some successfully, some not so successfully. You visited one of these schools with the mayor.
I did. So earlier this week, the mayor went into an elementary school, and she talked to 4th graders there about the Freddie Gray incident. She took their questions. And just one anecdote from my time there is that as I was leaving, I tried to use a water fountain, and I was told the water fountains haven't worked for years. The plumbing in that school near Gilmore Homes, where the Freddie Gray incident happened, the plumbing hasn't worked, and they ship water into the school for the kids.
Did you get the sense that that the mood or a lot changed there? I mean, we saw the riots on Monday. We didn't see them on Tuesday and Wednesday. Did you get the sense that things changed significantly between Sunday and Wednesday?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, there were so many people who came out after it got violent that realized that Baltimore was making national and international news, and people worried about the perception of their city. And the last 2 days I was there, people were there cleaning up. There were so many people who were there, pastors opening their churches. One thing they were worried about was kids not going to school because school was closed. Those are 2 meals that those kids weren't going to eat. And so there was an initiative to open up churches for kids to go to those schools to have meals because they may not have them.
All right, Josh Sanburn, thank you very much for coming in.
Thanks, Jeff.